Hello, hello. Welcome to TryDay Friday. If you are new to this video series, welcome, welcome. I'm very happy to have you viewing us. So what we do here at Fun Stamper's Journey is every Friday, we try to come to you with something we've either discovered as new ourselves, maybe we've seen someone else do it and we want to try it. Sometimes it's even a challenge from one of the crew members to another saying, hey, why don't you try this? I think it would be really fun. So there's all kinds of ways where we come up with different themes for TryDay Friday, but the bottom line is try something new. Doesn't that sound like something fun to use going into the weekend? I love that. By the way, I am Kim Kesti, Creative Director at Fun Stamper's Journey, and I'm just one of the faces that you'll see here on TryDay Friday. We rotate a few different people through here all the time, and I'm also with Roy, our amazing video guy. Roy, can you say hi? He's like, oh, there I am. So super fun. Again, it's just something fun to do on a Friday afternoon. So today I am super excited because this is the first TryDay Friday where I'm going to be using one of our brand new stamp sets from our Follow Your Heart collection. Now this is a collection that Fun Stamper's Journey just released right around the beginning of December, around December 1st. And it's mostly Valentine's themed. So I thought, you know what? It's going to be the season before we know it. So I grabbed my Valentine's stamp out and I thought I would try something new with it. So let's take a look at what I've got here. I've got one of the sets from that collection. Like I said, this is called All the Feels. Love this stamp set. It really lends itself to this type of a technique that I'm going to try right now because it has all these fun little elements that you can play with to create a background. And that's going to be part of what I'm doing to begin with. So I just love all the little elements. And of course, the sentiments are just great. They just make you smile. So what I've got right here is a plain piece of whipped cream cardstock. And I'm just going to kind of walk you through how I started this panel. And I'm going to skip to one that I have already prepped earlier. So what I'm going to do is take one of our stamps, which by the way, all of our stamps are deeply etched red rubber. Love those. And then they have the nice indexing on the back, and that's what attaches to our clear blocks, which by the way are amazing also. And then when I'm coming in, I kind of took the lid off too fast there. I'm coming in with our clear pigment ink. So this is our sticky ink. And I'm just going to go ahead and take quite a few of these different stamps from this set and go ahead and just start creating this fun background. So you can see that at some point I'm stamping off the edge of the paper. That kind of keeps my movement going for my background. In fact, I probably will end up trimming this panel down just a little bit anyway, but I want to make sure it's nice and covered with all these fun little elements. And I know that you can't see anything coming because, you know, it's clear ink. So I'm not going to spend too long. But you guys get the idea. You're just going to come in with your ink and you're going to stamp this entire background, which of course doesn't show very good. So I will stop doing that. I'm going to bring in the panel that I finished earlier. Now what I've done after I've done the clear pigment ink is I've sprinkled white embossing powder on this panel. And then I've melted it with our Journey Heat tool. So now you can see it. Does that make a little bit more sense now? Yay! Yep, I can see the camera's catching the light a little bit. I'll tilt it a little bit like this. So I've just, again, repeated a lot of the elements from the stamp set and just kind of spaced them out all over my entire background. And I wish this was a touch and feel because once you heat emboss it, it's got kind of a fun raised feel. I love it. This would actually be a pretty fun card front if you wanted to do one of those really dramatic like black and white cards and just mount this on a black card base and maybe put a fun sentiment in the middle. That's really all you would need to finish this card. But we don't want to do that today. We want to have more fun with color. How does that sound? I'm going to move some of these out of the way a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in some of our liquid colors. So much fun with these guys. I've done quite a few different techniques with them, but this is one that I've not really done before. So what I'm going to do is what we call in the stamping world an emboss resist. So now I've got this heat embossed element right here, and when I add color on top, the white that's raised right here is going to resist the color, at least for the most part, I found as I'm trying this technique. So I've got kind of a rainbow palette here. I've got from red down to blue. Oops, I got to turn that. So I have purple at the bottom. And so I'm going to apply these to this. So now what am I going to use? That is the trick for the day. I am going to use the good old standard. Oh, I got to get them open here. This is a brand new pack. Good old standard baby wipe. So what I have here is just a traditional baby wipe. It's not too soapy, but it does have some dampness to it, as baby wipes do. It's been a while since I've had a baby in the house. My daughter Eloise is 10 years old already. But I do have some grandbabies, so I'm starting to see baby wipes show up around the house a little bit more. Now what I'm doing now is I'm cutting my baby wipe into 4 pieces, just because I want to get a lot of mileage out of it. You know, they're not the cheapest things in the world. You could also try the same technique. I haven't tried it, but if you're watching this at home and you don't have baby wipes handy, you could also get a paper towel and dampen your paper towel. And I think you would get a real similar effect. The baby wipe is kind of nice because it's got enough body and texture that it's going to hold up to that color. Okay, so put my baby wipe pile there. Now I have just a little, small piece. So I'm going to start at the top of my, what is hopefully going to be a rainbow. And this first color is Watermelon Fusion. So that's my pink red. I don't need a whole lot. The color is very concentrated in the liquid colors, so you don't need a whole lot. I have about the size of a dime or less. And I'm not going to add water to it. Normally when I use liquid colors, I would go ahead and dilute it with water because it is a water-based ink. But since I have a little bit of moisture on this baby wipe, I don't need to dilute it. I'm going to go full strength on the color. So let's check out what happens. I'm kind of folding my piece of baby wipe and pretty much scooping up all that color. See how it's kind of all soaked in that baby wipe now? Now all I'm going to do is come to my embossed piece. I'm simply going to swipe a stripe right across the top of the panel. And I don't have to push very, very hard. It doesn't have to be, super dark, and I kind of love that it fades into a little bit lighter color there. Fun! That is a lot of instant color, isn't it? Now I can come back with a little clean end of my baby wipe and I can kind of dab off some of the white. It won't come completely clean, especially with this dark red color, but that'll take a little bit off that embossing. That works a little bit better with some of the lighter colors. So let's move on to orange. And I'll go pretty quickly through these stripes just so you can see it come to life. Again, same technique, just picking it up and smoothing the color on. Now, again, I don't have to worry about it being super even or super perfect. I love that it's got that little bit of imperfection to it. By the way, that was orange creamsicle, and now I'm going to lemon drop. Because, trying to follow my Roy G. Biv here. And you can see that when I blend the colors together, that I've got a little bit of crossover, so I love that. I love that as the yellow mixes with the orange. It makes beautiful things happen. Now I'm coming in with my green, which is one of our lighter greens. This particular one is called Sweet Pear. So it's a very pale green. Scooping up that color. Isn't that a fun green? It's kind of a yellowish, limey green. I love it. And of course, what comes next in our rainbow? Yes, you got it. Do you know, Roy? What comes next? Blue, yes. So this is Lovely Blue. I guess I went kind of fast on that too. This is Lovely Blue, one of our, again, lighter blues. Oh my gosh, look how pretty. And I love how when that mixes with the green, look at that lovely little mixture there. And my last color at the bottom of my panel is violet, but it's really in our world called Pretty Amethyst. So fun. Okay, scoop that up and add that to the bottom of the panel. And again, you can see how quickly that added the color. I did not need to go back and forth, many times. I didn't need to press very hard. It just comes in really nice. I'm going to take one more of my little scraps. Now I'm going to kind of go over some of my white. I'm just kind of making sure it's cleaned up. I can pull a little, so you can pull a little bit of that liquid color off just where the embossing is. It won't come 100% clean, but at least it gives me that little fresh white look. What do you think, guys? I think this is a success so far. I love it. Now the liquid colors will dry slightly lighter than they show right here. So it looks pretty vivid. I'll bring in my finished card in just a second and show you how it lightens up as it dries. But I really love it. I love the blending. I love how easy that was. You don't have to have any special tools. Again, simple little baby wipe. Or again, if you tried it with a wet paper towel, I think that would do just as well also. By the way, this little sheet that I put my liquid colors on, this is the little plastic sheet that comes with your stamp set. So definitely keep those and reused those and recycled those. So much fun. Okay, so move my little liquid colors. I'm going to show you the stamp set again. And then for my sentiment, I pulled out 2 of the tiny little stamps from this other new stamp set from the Follow Your Heart collection. It's called Sending My Love. And these 2 little stamps is what I use for my sentiment. The little heart and the little U. So cute. Do you want to take a look? I know you do. All right. So here's my card I created earlier. You can see that it's just slightly lighter than this one that's still quite damp. This probably takes maybe an hour to dry. If you want to speed up the drying, you can put the heat tool on to speed it up. But check out my little sentiment. It's just a little banner cut at the bottom of the thing. I didn't want to cover up too much of my pretty color, right? So I just put on a little banner there, and I added one of our cute little mini staples there. Mounted it with a little tiny, I call this an eyeliner mat. So a very, very small mat in our sweet berry color. And then it's on a white card base. So super fun. I'm happy with that. I hope that you had fun checking out our TryDay Friday today. It was fun, it was quick, and sometimes that's all we need, something to just get the creative juices flowing. So if you haven't tried our liquid colors, I hope you do that. This technique would work with any stamp. Just think of some florals or some stars or any kind of fun thing. I can just imagine the possibilities. So I hope that you will join me in bringing paper to life.